Good evening, FPL managers. Welcome to another episode of the FPL Ambassadors Show, live from Accra City. Well, for us managers on here, if you use the wild card, you blasted. If you did -8, you blasted. If you saved, had 3 transfers and used it, you also blasted. So the managers who are coming to assist you, we all blasted last week. But guess what? That is what FPL is about. It's all about the bouncing back. Raymond, welcome.
Charlie,
How are you
thank
doing?
you, Mohamed. Charlie, it was a weekend of wild card for me, but Charlie, things didn't really go too well. But we'll just move on. We always say the wild card is for the long term, not just for 1 week. So we'll just look at how to move on from there.
Sure. That's good. Anyway, managers, as always, like our page just so we can improve in terms of our logarithm or whatever that YouTube helps
Algorithm.
us to. Algorithm or say logarithm or say again, whatever that helps us to reach out to more people.
Yeah, maths, and I say yeah, science, and I say yeah, computer.
So like our page, subscribe, share, just so we can reach out to more people. And of course, we are always open to advice just to help us improve our show. Raymond, you can take it from here, please.
Charlie, this game is all about Man City, the EPL title decider, and it's said that the EPL might be decided this week. I think it would be decided 80% because both of the teams still have some games that are quite tricky. I think Liverpool will meet Man U, even though we know Liverpool will score Man U. The Liverpool have some tricky game be somewhere. But the fact is, you beat your direct contender and then be in the race as well. So this week is all about Man City versus Liverpool. In fact, what I'm actually praying for this week is that I will just enjoy my points and finish. So the last minute I can enjoy the game without any FPL pressure. Because sometimes when you are enjoying the game FPL, you don't really enjoy because you are praying that your players will get. But I really want to enjoy how the game would really, really be on Sunday afternoon as well. So that is it for the week. What's your call for the game this week?
Charlie, it's a tight game, honestly. It's a very, very tight game. I'm not sure which way to go. I won't be surprised if we get another draw like a 2-2 again. Because I think the previous match was a 2-2.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tight game, Charlie. It's going to be a tight game. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it's going to go. I don't even know whether Man City have an advantage because they are playing home. I don't even think because Liverpool, Charlie, they are firing on all cylinders.
To me, I personally, I think momentum is on Liverpool's side because what I think is sometimes City need a win or a draw. Sometimes when you think that a draw might be okay, you don't push harder because you know that even if you don't win, you can draw. But the one that knows that he has to win will go all out. And when Liverpool go all out, it means that the game there'll be goals in it. And as we all know, nobody should expect any clean sheet this game week. At least if you have your players, just your defenders, just expect that they are involved in some attacking sense. But I think Liverpool might try and push. And if Liverpool is able to push, Charlie, it's over. Charlie, we can't tell. We all want to enjoy the beauty of the game.
It's a very, very tricky game week. This game week, it's very, very tricky. Anyway.
Yes. So the previous game week, any key thing you picked up from the last game week, apart from Weghorst disappointing managers having 2 games and disappointed. Oh my God.
I said last week's show. I mean, I didn't do any better by going Nick Pope anyway, but I think if I went, I had. I mean, we'll get to our teams, but what I took clearly Weghorst. The funny thing, I think he has some double game weeks coming again. He's not done with his double.
33.
He has one in 33. I think he has one in 36.
36 as well. Yeah.
Yes. So, I think one of the matches, of course, that stood out is that Chelsea versus Brentford match. Now, one of my transfers, of course, was for a Chelsea player, but I don't know whether with Chelsea, all that has been going on with the club is starting to affect them. So it's starting to affect their performances because they also lost to Real Madrid. I mean, Real Madrid is an excellent side. But I think the Brentford game, of course, took all of us by surprise, and they played at home as well. So, something I don't know whether it's right now it's just getting to them or it's just catching up with them. But I think out of that result, the results that is one that stood out. And of course, I just remembered Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Another game that I mean the people who have, I think most of us have at least some form of defending or goalkeeper in terms of Arsenal, and they disappointed. So I mean, the people who over the season have been known to be solid at the back so far, disappointed this weekend. That's Chelsea and Arsenal. So yes, I think those are the two results that
That really got time.
out of the game week.
Sure.
And I think maybe one more we can talk about Spurs. And our Spurs, Charlie,
Charlie. Sorry.
Newcastle had been on a very, very good run until they met
Sure.
Spurs, and Spurs just dismantled them like they were some Leeds United or some Norwich or something like that.
Yeah.
So Spurs is also a team that maybe we need to keep a close eye on as well.
Yes, we have been talking about Spurs for a while, but just that it has been a moderation. But I think one thing about Spurs is that now that Conte has been with the team for a while, now they know what he requests of them. So the team is now gelling and playing just like how he wanted. You know, for a while he was still trying to juggle it. And the key thing about Spurs that we need to notice, his wing backs, Conte's wing backs from his time at Chelsea, even Juve coming, are always crucial. So Doherty, Reguilon, any of those guys are people to watch out for this season and even next season. Somebody say this guy started talking about next season. Charlie, this season I'm already giving up. But and somebody was talking about Mo Salah, that Mo Salah has not really picked up since he came back from the AFCON. But Charlie, what do? We just manage it. Some people are thinking about
what do you think about that though? Mo Salah losing form.
Mo Salah losing form. If you check his expected goal involvement, it's still as good as it is. It's not like he's actually dropped in form like everything like but just that the finishing is not coming on well. And some are saying that it's also due to burnout, because I saw a stat on Twitter yesterday saying that it looks like Salah's output as anytime the season is about to go to the end drops to a certain extent. Maybe due to the huge load of games he might have played. So it's something that we need to watch out for. I think let's watch out for what happens this week, because he said that Salah also loves a big games as well. So he has a big game in 32 and big game in 33 against Manchester United. So I think with that maybe he might bounce back as well. So you can monitor him and see, but 32, 33 he hasn't done anything. I'm sure that if you are selling Salah, he's not going to hurt you that much. This one is a word of caution.
Would you be tempted to sell Salah for another premium asset? Premium asset now, maybe we're talking about the likes. I think Kevin De Bruyne at the moment.
Yeah.
On top form.
Yeah. I'll be tempted to do that and then buy Robertson, so that I have Robertson and Trent at the back. That's what I'll buy De Bruyne and then use the Salah man, because the Jota and Luis Diaz, they are still rotation risks. If I had one of them, sure, I would have got maybe Jota, or if Luis Diaz, whoever is sure, then I would have just replaced one with Salah and then I'll buy De Bruyne. Then I have at least one from City.
Sorry, Raymond, we're breaking a little over there, so I think all that was said was possibly missed. I think your
my network is not good
was breaking. So
okay. Sorry. So what I was saying was that I would get De Bruyne and then rather get Robertson and Trent. So I have De Bruyne and then Robertson and Trent. So I have two of the Liverpool fullbacks with De Bruyne as one option. The other option is, if I have any certainty of whether Luis Diaz or Jota is going to play more games, then I'll replace Salah with Luis Diaz or Jota, and then I would buy De Bruyne as well, so that I have one player in Liverpool, one player in Manchester City. I hope I was clear. Hello, Marvin. Marvin, can you hear me? Is it from my end or from Marvin? Okay. So that's it there. So this is Rowland's team, Rowland captain Salah, and it didn't go too well. Okay, I think the challenge from Marvin's end. So I'll continue. I'm sure Marvin will join me quite soon. So this is my team. So as I spoke last week, I talked about getting Ramsdale, but Ramsdale was not fit by deadline time. So I brought in Mendy, and Mendy really caused me rather. Mendy really caused me rather. So by me getting Mendy, I needed to free up some cash, and very funny enough, I sold Doherty. Oh, very painful. I didn't want to sell Trent as well. So I sold Doherty, and Doherty had 14 points. The only good thing for me is that Beltman, who was my replacement for Doherty, had 7 points. So he managed to just hold me there. But the fact is, I'm getting Doherty back anytime very soon. So this is something that I'm looking to work on there. My rank has not been too good this season. That's what I was telling Rowland Marlvin. I need to work on moving forward. I wildcarded and had 41. Very impressive. Wildcard with 41, don't worry. But I will look to do better there. So this is Marvin's team as well. Marvin also dropped. So it means for the first time in a very long while, we've all had three red arrows. We've all had 3 red arrows. So for the first time ever, we've all had 3 red arrows. Marvin, you are welcome back. Sorry for the internet challenge. I was saying that for the first time all of us have had red arrows. So this is your team. What things didn't go to on your team? After that, about
well, I went to the 2 transfers I went to do. I think if I hadn't done anything safe, I think I would have gotten more points. So I had Rudiger, swapped out Rudiger for James. James came on, I think he did get a yellow card or something.
0.
No, he came and they considered 2 goals.
He considered 2 goals. Oh, Charlie.
Yeah, 0. And then I initially I was thinking about bringing in Gordon, but even I checked, Gordon didn't even start the first game, and then he just started. I got an assist, so 6 and 5 is not that bad. But I don't know, maybe if I'd gotten Gordon, I'll maybe not have gotten James, or maybe I'd have got 6. Charlie, it's long, but yeah, I think it was just a bad game week, pretty much.
Bad game week.
Alexander Arnold didn't play as well, so he came off. Ben White, who of course facing Crystal Palace, you think maybe he's a good substitute, also didn't do anything because they were dismantled by Crystal Palace as well. So I mean, it was a terrible game week for myself, and I think a lot of us. So that's that for me.
Sure. We'll move on. So our key players, as the week didn't go towards, I think Robertson was the one who did some job over there. Son did a very good work. Kane gave an assist. As for Weghorst, they won't talk about him. They had an assist there. Kane even did the work, and then Ronaldo didn't start. Leicester over the game and 1-1 there. So now, Marvin, these are your key players for this week. Why?
Okay. So I think okay, yes, come up now. All right. So in goal, I've gone. First of all, I think this is a very tricky game week. I think I really struggled to put this thing together. So goalkeeper, I've gone for Foster. Just because Watford, they are on and off. You see that they can have a very good result and be very solid at the back, and maybe the next game week they are just poor. And they are facing a lead side who are attacking, but they can pull off a result against Leeds. That's why I've gone for Foster, because even if anything, I think he might have a lot of shots at goal. And I think he's a decent enough keeper to make some decent saves. So that's why I've gone for Foster in goal. In defense, I've gone for Alonso because Chelsea have a big game coming up next week against Real Madrid. Alonso did not play in the Champions League, so I am confident that he is going to start at wing back in this coming game. And they are facing a Southampton side who, I don't know, I think they've gone on holiday very early, and I don't know what they are even doing. I even want to get rid of my assets. I just don't know how at the moment. But yeah, they've gone to bed early, and then I think Alonso has a decent chance of getting Chelsea some good results. And midfield, I've gone for Saka. Saka because he's facing a Brighton side who have been out of sorts at the moment in the past couple of game weeks. So I think Saka at the moment is Arsenal's talisman, if I should put it that way. He's the one that everything is going through. And I think he's going to do well in this game. And Arsenal need a result as well because of their game against Crystal Palace. Forward, the most informed, yes, the most informed forward at the moment is Harry Kane. I think he's facing an Aston Villa side who he can.
Aside Benzema, though Benzema does not play in FPL.
Benzema is knowing. Yeah, so Kane is the best striker at the moment in the league. So I think he'll just pick up from where he has been, or where he's been performing so far. He's been getting attacking returns over the game weeks, and I think he's going to continue like that. For my differential player, I've gone for Pookie because he's facing Burnley. Burnley, I think it's going to be a good game because they are all around the same
relegation fight.
Yeah, around the same relegation fight also, and I think it's going to be a decent game. Burnley, they are not really known for their defensive and being solid at the back like it has been in previous seasons. And I think somebody like Pookie, who is the main man for Norwich, can also do a job against them. That's why I've gone for him. I've gone for Fernandes. Yes, because Everton, everybody knows what Everton is going through. They are really in a relegation battle. Lampard, I'm sorry, I mistake. Baby was still about Everton. And United, I think United over the seasons it's always been a good game between Manchester United and Everton. I just think that Manchester United is going to be too much for Everton. And I think since Bruno is one of the main men, I don't know whether Ronaldo is back or not.
I haven't had that update. Yes, I'm sure by Ronic will inform us.
Yeah, but either way, I think and because this week's our captain has always been either Salah or whatever, Charlie, but Salah is facing Man City, so it's not as straightforward. And I think looking at the games, I think Fernandes is the one that is what's it called? Can really do something at the 11:30 on Saturday. Yeah, so that's why I've gone for Bruno Fernandes.
Would you advise somebody who thinks that Salah won't do well this game to go and buy Bruno and captain him?
The funny thing is, Bruno has a double game week in game week 33.
Sure.
They are playing
against Norwich and Liverpool.
Exactly. So if you look at the three fixtures, they are playing against Everton, Norwich, and then Liverpool. And then you can compare Liverpool's fixtures to Manchester City and
then Manchester United.
Sure. So it's a tricky one. Anybody who's bold. The only thing is, are you selling Bruno and then you have to make a case to go? The only annoying thing is that if you are selling Bruno, I'm sure you still want Salah back. That's always the annoying thing. Unless you have some free hits, or unless you have some chips, or unless you have a wild card that you can just bring Salah Rice back in. But there's a transfer that when you are taking Salah out, that means you have to make plans to get Salah back in again. Is that something you're willing to do or to take his for? If it is, yeah. But if we are comparing Everton, Norwich, and Liverpool to City and Man United, so if Ronaldo was not available in this game week, it's something that I think managers should consider. Reason being that if you realize Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes, they don't play well together.
Sure.
Whenever one is absent, that's when one thrives. Sure. So if you realize in the Tottenham game, I think Bruno Fernandes was absent. I think that's when Ronaldo scored.
Sure.
Yes. And I think one of the times that's the time where I played my free hit. I think the first game, the one that I think Bruno Fernandes has 2 goals. I think he had 2 goals. And the next game, he had 1 goal and an assist or something like that. Yeah. That game, Ronaldo too did not play that game. And Bruno shone throughout that game. So if I know that somebody like Ronaldo is not present, is a risk that is worth taking. I think managers should consider it because it's 3 versus 2. You are looking at a Salah who has not really been on form so much. So those who are looking at their mini leagues and want to take some pounds to be able to go up their mini leagues, I think is something that you can look at. So yeah.
Let me ask this question: are we afraid that by going against Salah will hurt us? Is that the reason why, as managers, we have not been able to move, or we just think that he'll be able to do the job against City?
Sorry, please say that again. I don't know whether it's my internet's messing up again, but I didn't quite hear
Sorry,
that.
don't worry. I was saying that are we afraid? Are we afraid to go against Salah because we think that because he's owned by 60% of managers in the game, if he will hurt us, or we actually think that Salah can do the job against City and then Man U, so there's no word telling him.
I think for many FPL managers, it's always the issue about fear of missing out on a player. I think that's what holds so many people back when it comes to transfers. That's the main thing. It's just fear of missing out. Because you go and transfer Salah out now and Salah halts, your rank is just going to dip. And the opposite too is true. If you go and buy something like Bruno and he halts and Salah disappoints, then you also move up the rank. So it's all about your risk appetite as an FPO manager. Are you willing to take that risk and then willing to take the results that come with it, albeit good or bad? And are you going to be able to recover? Because you should know that we are at the crucial stage of the season. This is not game week 1 or 2 that you can make those things and then you can try and make amends throughout the rest of the season because you have time. Yes, and right now every game is precious. So is it a risk you are willing to take? So this one it always depends on the risk appetite of the manager.
True. But that said, I think that the guy who will shine in the Liverpool game will be Mane. I have a feeling Mane always tries in the very tough games when everybody's mind is on Salah and Co. The Mane will just pop and score one goal be over there. So anybody who is looking to Liverpool assets, I'm saying maybe look at Mane. So that is it. Okay, so my take for this week, I've gone in Ramsdale in goal. So Ramsdale, I think Ramsdale is one of the keepers who have to for 10 of the season. Although his games are quite tough. Though he has doubles in 33, he has a double in 36. His games are quite tricky. He faces Leicester, he faces Chelsea, he faces Man U, he faces West Ham. These games are games that he can concede. But one thing about him is sometimes the save point. So I don't think there's any safer keeper. The safest keeper I would call after this week would be Ederson, because City would, City can go on that like 6 games and clean sheet 1-0 wins and they'll finish the season. So if you have the cash from next week after the Liverpool game, you can look at, because their games are quite manageable. There are those games against Watford, Newcastle, Arsenal, and they'll just play the ball and they'll just grind the result and then just move on from. But everything depends on how this game week will go. So that is Ramsdale there. And then Fabian Schär of Newcastle. They are playing Wolves on Friday. I know some people are trying to avoid the Friday matches, but Wolves, I don't know. They don't like to score or what? I don't know. So they don't want to concede. They don't want to score. So Fabian Schär has been involved in attacking returns over a period now. So he's somebody you can, as a budget player, even as you are entering the double game with 33 as well. So he's somebody to look in over there. And then Son, you know the funny thing, Son is doing the job, okay, but boys have no for Kane. So most boys have gone for Kane, and now they are thinking about how they can get Son, and it's a tough call. So the thing is, if you have Son, keep him. If you have Kane, keep him. You can't be switching in here or there, because the point is, I was telling Rowland, I think some time ago, that if you look at Son and Kane, the thing about Son and Kane is over a period of 5 game weeks, their points is very similar. But the only thing about Kane, I like Kane over Son, is that Kane is a good captaincy shout. When a game is coming, you can have confidence I'm going to captain Kane for this game week, and Kane will deliver the job. Son is that guy who would give 1 goal here, 1 assist here, 1 goal. So you are never too sure when he's going to haul. But over the period of time, you're just taking the points over there. So managers who have Son or who who have not bought any of the Spurs guys between Kane and Son, depending on team structure, if at night you've not bought any, please buy Son as somebody to look at. And Aston Villa is going to be a tough game. But it is in these games that when Kane is being marked out, like against Newcastle would mark Kane out, and then Son would then be able to do the job over there. And then Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney is playing against West Ham. West Ham are playing tonight in the Europa League. So by Sunday, the stress might be a little bit on them. Brentford with Christian Eriksen. I'm sure they'll be buzzing from their win against Chelsea. So they'll be buzzing to go and win from there as well. So Toney is somebody to look at over there. He has been scoring, though he has been not scoring some other games as well. And then Mateta. Crystal Palace. I don't know how come this guy has been able to be the go-to striker now. Edward is, we can't find Edward, we can't find Benteke. He's doing the job for Patrick Vieira as well. So he's priced at 5.2. I don't know whether he has risen, but at 5.2 he's somebody to look at. Especially as Crystal Palace will have a good run of games from this week going onwards. So those plan on bench boosting in 33 or even 36. Mateta is somebody you can look at, and he's really scoring as well. So he's somebody you should really look at. And then captaincy Madison. It's a tough call for
Madison is going to place it.
So he's playing today, he's playing tonight. But the way Leicester is, Brendan has a way of this. Sometimes he doesn't rotate the team. You can play the same team all across, or just do one change in the middle, one change in attack. So it's either Madison or Iheanacho for me. Because normally he will just change one of them. He will change either Madison or Iheanacho. But I think that Madison is picking up the form. And Leicester might want to push further, even though they are playing the Europa League, they want to push further as well. And in a game against Crystal Palace, that game mode is surely going to be a game of goals. And Madison either might get a goal or get an assist there. There is no sure captain shout for me, but to me, I think if I'm looking at my safest person, I'll rather captain Ramsdale.
Let's move on. You want to captain Ramsdale?
You want to captain Ramsdale because seriously, I can say with a high extent Brighton will score, but you're very funny today. You say you will score, then last week the guy will score the goal, then everything. So it's not good to captain. If you are not sure who to captain this weekend, me, I think that Ramsdale is the safest bet. Next week to be here.
Next week you come back, you see.
So now let's quickly go about this. So looking at how FPL is going for a period of time now. Now we have we've been talking about this for a while now on how the game weeks are going. We are now in game week 32. This one is before us, but we have to game week 33. Please, as we have said, this Burnley double they have here. Please, nobody should go there. Please, beg everybody, don't go there. Choose the quality play. Now,
corner is
good there. The challenge you have in 33 is that City, Liverpool, and Spurs have good games, and they have single games. So City is playing Brighton, and Spurs is also playing Brighton, and then Liverpool is playing Man U. Though it's somebody say it's a tough game.
It's not tough. What's tough about Liverpool versus Man United?
So City, Liverpool, and Spurs have the very easy game, but they have single games. And then the other teams like Man U, so Man U is playing Norwich and Liverpool. Leicester is playing Newcastle and Everton. Southampton is playing Arsenal and Burnley. Newcastle is playing Leicester and Crystal Palace. Arsenal. So these have the difficult game. Some of these ones have the double games. So would you sell your City, Liverpool assets and Spurs assets to buy these players or what? So it will be a tough call come next week game week 33. But I think that the best is you should try and have a blend. Still have your City asset, the Liverpool asset, Spurs. You can get, I think the Leicester asset is very important because Leicester's games, if you are buying a Leicester, they are buying for a long haul. And then Man U's game is also quite good against Norwich, and then Liverpool game is tricky. So those who don't trust, some people are thinking of doing Kane to Ronaldo and then back to Kane. So that's an option that they have over there. Arsenal's game is quite tricky because Arsenal will play Southampton and then Chelsea. If Arsenal can get the points from Southampton, at least we'll take it, and then the Chelsea one will ignore it. Brighton is very tricky because Brighton are playing Tottenham and then Man City. So that is how game 33 is looking at. It's very tricky looking at how to go. Managers who have their free hits will have the advantage because they can just focus on just the how do you call it, the key players they want for that week, and then forget about, because I'm not sure you want to keep your Man United asset going forward as well. But I'm sure next week we'll know how to tackle those issues over there. Martin G, you are welcome. Good to have you here as well. Now, that said, then Marvin, do you want to say anything here, or I should move on to the next slide?
You can move on to the next slide.
Okay. Now we have, this one is, we have everything from now up to 38. Now, the fact, I don't want to talk much about this. Now, we have some teams that are doubling. The double games have been announced, 36, 37. Now, it's like we have 33 here. We have 34, 35, 36, 37. Now, you can't think so much about 36, 37 as of now. The main focus now would be to plan on 33. So, but the only thing we can speak for managers is that you can decide if you have your free hit and then bench boost, whether to free hit in 33 and then bench boost in 36, or the other way around. 36 is looking at a very good game week to bench boost because about 10 teams are doubling, and even some other teams like City and then Wolves can have their games depending on FA Cup results also brought it to 36. So you can plan that you can either bench boost in game week 36 or free in game week 36 or even 37. But as of now, we can't talk so much about it because there's 33 just in front of us, and it's going to affect a lot of things as well. So that is it for how FPL is looking over there since we last had our show. Anything to say? Then we move.
Yeah, so as I said, there's a crucial time in which we are in for FPL because we are pretty much at the last hurdle. So I think the using of chips is very important. Just analyze and see, depending on the chips that you have. I think a lot of people have their free hit and their bench boost available.
Sure.
Yes, so it's either if you are confident, is anybody, but if you are confident, for example, in maybe free hitting in something like a 33, it's going to depend, as I said, 33, because you are looking at United assets, for example, then you might not want to have long term. If there are some people still looking at Burnley, Newcastle assets that you are looking at for just so you want to have them for that period, because I think Newcastle, Leicester, of course, these players have good fixtures on paper. So if you are looking to target and go hard on them, and maybe if you can do your bench boost, maybe let's say in 36, as Raymond has been saying, because I think a lot of people might have their team currently set up to have a lot of the players for 36. So if you have your bench boost, for example, maybe it's a good time to use it. However, let's not forget that we have a game week in 37 as well. So it's very tricky. Is it that you want to navigate? So the free hits at the moment, it seems most people are either going to use it between 33, 37. And Raymond, I think you mentioned at 38, it's also a good time to make use of your free hits because that one, they are going all out. Your last kappa to end the season. So clearly, it seems as if free hits, at least if we are trying to narrow it down, free hits 33, free hit 37, free hit 38. Some people can also do free hit 36 if you feel like your team is not currently set up, because 36 is, I think, the last game week whereby there are a lot of double game week that the double game weeks are covering a lot of the teams. So, and I think one match has not been allocated, which is the Man City game. And depending on how results go, because it depends on other factors which you have to wait, let's say the FA Cup, the Champions League, all those things. Sure. If Manchester City also lands in, let's say, a game week like 36, it becomes more tricky because some people went off City assets at some point. So you see that lots of people have Liverpool and Arsenal assets at the moment. So Again, free hit 36 might also look, because maybe you might just want to go in all out on your City assets as well. So I mean, a lot depends on how the fixtures pan out, because a lot is also going to, after Europe, we'll see Chelsea's end to the season is going to be more clear, and then
Yeah.
West Ham's season is going to be more clear, Leicester season is going to be more clear, whether they are moving on to the next stages of the European competition. So things will become more clear maybe from next week, and but
Sure.
definitely, just managers should just bear in mind that we are the last stages, so you have to make sure that you look at your team, assess your team, and look at where you think you can gain the most points out of the chip that you have. If you're in a position whereby you have your two free hits and let's say a bench boost, then Charlie, you're in a luxury position. You're just in a luxurious position, because you can bum 133, bum one another game with challenge, just capitalize on it. But managers should remember that the free hits cannot be used consecutively. So you can't use
Thank
your
you.
free hits in
Thank you.
game week 33 and use the game week 34. You can only use it 33, use it 35 or 33. There always has to be one other game week to pass before you go. So you can't use your game weeks consecutively. So just managers to bear in mind. Some the managers who have wild card. I know of a friend who is in a mini league, right? And he comes and I help him. And I assist him to set up his team. So he doesn't do changes. Oh. He does changes like in the past 10 games, he's done like 2 transfers per. And at the moment, he's he's leading. So I called him last week and I'm like, have you checked your league? He said he's going to check. He's leading his his people by 120 points. And he has his wild
Wow.
card. He has two free
Touch.
hits. He has his triple captain. He has his bench boost. No, he has one. No, he has one free hit. I remember I made him use one free hit initially, one in earlier this thing. So he's in a luxurious position. So I'm just going to do bam from maybe from one of the games, then bam, bam, bam every week be assisting, because the way he's leading 130 points, he's already won his league. So yeah, so some people are in luxurious positions. So those who are in luxurious positions, yeah, Charlie. Free hit, two free hits there, Charlie. You can just butcher the rest of the season, cry.
That's well. True. So we can't predict so much. The focus is now on 33, and then after 33, every other thing will become clearer, because by then we'll know what. So managers should just have a draft plan for 30 and 37. But for now, you can just focus on 30, 32 and 33. So this is Roland's team. Roland kept Jimenez and then he kept Tierney. I don't know whether Roland would want to buy a striker, but I suspect Roland is going to be a -4. And I'm
You Roland
sure
always does minus. He will do some, even if he doesn't need to do minus. I don't know whether it's the minus that he likes to do or what. He will do a minus.
I'll tell Roland, hold on. You see that Roland will do the move. They tell each other, I've done something.
Roland doesn't know how to do a transfer. He's like, no, but you see, I mean, it depends on everybody. Some people's strategy, their strategy is to do minus and target the game week. And if you
Sure.
realize it works, it works for him. It's not a strategy that works for him, but
It's true.
because if you realize he does some -8, you realize that he's just source.
The
So
result will pay off. Then he'll move on next week. Say
because then
at the
the
time.
game week the 2 game weeks, he did -8, brought in Madison, brought in Son, brought in King, all his players hit papa, and he just shut up again.
Charlie.
And he Roland, the man is in the Bahamas over here.
So let's leave it. We can't predict for him. So this is my team. I'm thinking about bringing Ramsdale in. Ramsdale in for this week. Mendy is being a bit suspect against Southampton. I know Southampton have gone to the beach already, but I think the way Chelsea are playing, I'm thinking. So it's one thing. Either I would just keep the transfer and let Mendy be there this week. Okay. And then next week in 33, I'll do 3 transfers. So I'll bring in Doherty. I have to bring Doherty back. It's a mistake I made. Oh, Charlie, it was very painful. You know, all the while we're talking about my transfer, my wild card, it didn't occur to me that because Ramsdale was not fit, if I was keeping Mendy, somebody had to go because I needed cash. Because I was caught in the situation whereby I needed to sell one player. And I thought, no, I'll play these 3, and Doherty is the 4th guy, so let me sell him. Then I sold him, Charlie. Sunday, the guy vanished. At at least Dortmund gave me 7. So my plan is to buy him back. Right? So, okay, well, let's say he's not doing transfer this week. Okay, US, Roland is not doing transfer this week.
He's driving, that's why he's not thinking. He's driving, he's not thinking. Rowland Ekuban. Roland.
So my captain is for now is on Saka. But as I said, if I bring in Ramsdale, I might go and captain Ramsdale. I am not confident to captain Kane.
Don't captain Ramsdale. Don't captain Ramsdale.
I'm not confident to captain Kane. I don't know who to captain this week. Seriously.
Yeah, this week is difficult. It's too difficult.
So I don't have Maddison this week. If I had Maddison, I'd captain him. But I don't have Maddison. So
Maddison Ombo.
Okay. So seriously, I can't tell my captaincy now. But as I said, my 2 captaincy shots are Saka and then Ramsdale, Makama. Marvin, your team.
Yeah, Charlie. I'm the one who's likely not to do a transfer. Forget what Roland is saying in the commentary section. Because I have number one, I have one eye on 33. So one school of thought is to maybe roll a transfer.
That would be good. But I don't do anything.
Maybe roll a transfer and then maybe
that's the best thing you can do.
Because I have to start looking at the game weeks and see which one will favor my chips. Because I'm honestly considering also like maybe playing a chip in 33. But I don't know. I'll see. Because if I don't do a transfer, I don't want to do one thing. Most of it, I don't want to do a transfer so that because as my team stands now, I don't have any urgent transfer to do.
Sure.
I don't have any urgent issues, so I can roll the transfer and then maybe try and tackle game week 33 and maybe get some players in the double game week just to boost my double game week.
And the good thing for you is that Southampton are doubling in the double game week, so at least you can sell one of Broha and then Adams, and then you can upgrade at that portion.
So that's what I'm looking at that one. But honestly, as you said, it's a tricky position because if you ask me why I'm going to go to captain Crime, I don't know. Maybe mine is between maybe Kane and maybe Saka or something. Or Salah safe. No, Salah, actually, I don't know. I don't know.
Seriously,
I
feel Salah might do the job.
That's the funny thing. Salah will do the job. I said it was Salah is Salah, actually. Whether he's in good form, bad form, he will just because I used to remember Salah will be doing some bad things and I'll sell him. No hard and Salah will score hat trick. Hey, Salah. No, Salah has bent me so many times in the past. So when I'm selling Salah, I think like I overthink it. But I don't know. I'll see. But at the moment, maybe between Kane and Saka. Maybe Salah is third choice at the moment. One of them. It's one of the three. It might come to me one of the three.
Okay.
But as at now, Paddy. Maybe Rafinha against Watford is not bad. I haven't even looked at him.
Yeah, it's true.
Not that bad.
So to manage, it means that this game is a tricky game week whereby you can captain a differential player. If you are looking for a differential captain all throughout the whole, this is the best week to captain one because there's no clear cut. So however it goes, just choose somebody you think can at least give you one return because this game week, I just pray this game week is not like next week, last week's goal, so we can all move.
People blast this game with I can just feel it.
Yes, and then our FPL Ambassadors League as well. Emil Smith Joe is still on top. It's up for grabs as well. So let's see. It's just a 5-point battle at the top over there. But the other guys are looking there. Alexander Minka, our guest expert from earlier on the season, has now moved in the top 10. Arku was at 10, and then now Alex has bypassed Arku. So we'll see how that one will go over there. So,
where is Precious?
Precious is, I think it's now 11th or 12th. So Precious has dropped from that side.
Oh, I remember I saw myself in 10 briefly for some 1 week B since then.
So Charlie, you see what I've written? Mo Salah.
So if you have Captain Salah, I mean, as I said, it's choice at the moment.
Yeah, so to managers, key information you need to know: there's double game with 33, there's double game with 36 and 37. So even as you are making plans, be thinking about that. As you're talking about when to use your strategy or stuff, you can go watch the whole video again. You'll see how to navigate these as well. And today, sorry, I think we weren't able to speak about Rowland. Rowland has been caught up in a very important assignment today. That's why he's not been able to join us, but he has been able to join us in the comment section as well. So next week he will surely be here with us, and we look forward to finishing the season stronger. Please share the video, share it for others to know about it, like it for us as well, comment on the channel as well. And we are going together. We want to hit 500k before the season ends. We are now under 220. I'm going to say, how can you 500k? But by God's grace, we'll get there. I was 500k, 500 subscribers. Maybe hit 1k, and I'm saying 500k. 500k is my actual FPL target for the season. So I'm sure that's why I'm off from our new. So FPL Ambassadors is brought. You can find us on Twitter at FPL Ambassadors. It's brought to you by myself, Raymond Nketsiah at Raymond Nketsiah, Rowland Ekuban at Rowland Ekuban on Twitter, and Marlvin Owusu at Mr. Owusu. Marlvin, any final comments? Anything managers should note as we go into the end this week? Hello, Marvin.
Yeah, Marvin. Sorry, that was breaking, but
sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Any final comments as we end the show?
So did you ask me anything?
To note? Yes. Any final comments? Anything for managers to note?
Well, one final comment, which does not need an answer from anybody. Is Salah still perma captain? I think we should end on that note.
Please, Salah is no longer perma captain. Bye.